Lions News Fan Report. Imagine a universe where the impossible happens, where the script of an epic sports drama is written not by fate, but by bold choices and an unparalleled sense of revenge. Now imagine that you are part of this story, because what is about to happen is not just a move in the NFL market. It's an earthquake. It's a turning point for one of the most resilient teams in sports. For years, the Detroit Lions have been the embodiment of frustrated hope. Season after season, we saw promises that never materialized, plans that never left the drawing board, players who shined, but far from Detroit. And the worst of all, we were forced to watch powerless as one man, a single man, built his dynasty at the expense of our misery. Aaron Rodgers. If you are a Lions fan, you know this pain. The numbers, the humiliating losses, the last-second miracle plays that seemed to rip away any shred of hope we had left. He became the ultimate villain in our story, our nemesis, a name that, for many fans, was synonymous with nightmares. But what if I told you that the story is about to be rewritten? The winds have changed. The time for suffering is over. Because the Lions are no longer a team that accepts fate. We challenge it. We shape it. And now, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done the unthinkable, something no one ever considered. They turned the game around. Aaron Rodgers is coming to Detroit. Yes, read that again. Absorb it. The name that once terrified us will now be chanted by our crowd. But wait, how is this possible? How could Rodgers, the same man who built his legend by crushing the Lions, become one of them? The answer is not just in football. It's in human nature. Challenges, legacy, purpose. Rodgers knows his story isn't over yet. The Achilles injury sidelined him last season, and the world started speculating he's done. But if there's one thing this man has proven over nearly 2 decades, it's that he never accepts a premature ending. He doesn't want a final breath in New York. He wants something bigger, something definitive. And Detroit offers that. Detroit offers redemption. The behind-the-scenes negotiations were kept under lock and key. But what we know is enough to make it clear. This is not a random move. Rodgers has watched the Lions grow. He has seen the culture Campbell built. He understands that this team is one step away from greatness. And he wants to be the missing piece. But what does this mean for Jared Goff? The man who helped transform the Lions into a respected team again? That's the question everyone is asking. And the truth is, we don't have all the answers yet. But one thing is certain, this decision was not made on impulse. It's a calculated move. It's a decision that could elevate Detroit to heights we've never seen before. The fan reaction is already divided. Many see this as a betrayal of the identity we've built in recent years. Others believe that if there's a chance to reach the title, we must seize it without hesitation. But one thing is undeniable. No one, absolutely no one, saw this coming. And maybe for that very reason, it's the right choice. Because the greatest stories in the NFL aren't the ones we predict. They're the ones that leave us speechless. They're the ones that defy logic, break paradigms, and transform legacies. The question now is no longer why. The question is, what's next? What does it mean to have Aaron Rodgers wearing the Lions blue and silver? It means that an entirely new era begins now. And if history has taught us anything, it's that the most incredible twists happen when no one expects them. Imagine the first game. Packed Ford Field. The roar of the crowd echoing. The camera focuses on the tunnel. A man walks slowly, his helmet gleaming under the lights. And then he emerges. Rodgers, wearing blue and silver. The same cold, calculating stare that terrorized us for years, on our side. The first passes. The chemistry with the receivers. The immediate connection. The fans, in shock, realizing that this is no longer an impossible fantasy. It's real. And the opponent's feeling, for the first time, the weight of this change. And the legacy. If Rodgers wins a Super Bowl with the Lions, his legend will be immortal. He will have done the impossible. And not just for himself. For Detroit. For the city that was always overlooked. For the fans who never gave up. He's not just coming to play. He's coming to etch his name into eternity. The impact of this move goes beyond the field, beyond the NFL. It will shake the media, the fans, the history of the sport. This will be the story of the year, and every game will be a spectacle. Every victory, a redemption. Every pass, a symbol that this franchise has finally found its destiny. Reporters are already going crazy over this news. Social media is on fire. Debates are heated. Former players, analysts, and even coaches are split between disbelief and excitement. NFL insiders have never seen such a bold move. For years, the NFC North has been a battlefield where the Lions were often the ones left wounded. But now the tides have turned. The balance of power is shifting. The same quarterback who tormented the division for nearly 2 decades now leads the charge for Detroit. Green Bay, Chicago, Minnesota. None of them saw this coming. And now they have to deal with the consequences. Rodgers' arrival means more than just experience. It means leadership, precision, and a championship mindset. This is a player who has been to the mountaintop, who understands what it takes to win at the highest level. And now he brings that mentality to a team hungry for greatness. His presence alone elevates the expectations for everyone in the locker room. Jared Goff's response to this situation will be crucial. Will he embrace the competition? Will he fight for his place, proving once again that he belongs at the helm of this team? Or will he see this as an inevitable changing of the guard? The way he handles this challenge will define his legacy in Detroit, regardless of the outcome. Beyond the strategy, beyond the tactics, there is an emotional element to all of this. Lions fans have suffered heartbreak after heartbreak, watching their team be a stepping stone for others. But now they get to witness a transformation unlike anything seen before. The script is flipped. The hunted have become the hunters. Dan Campbell's coaching style is all about grit, resilience, and overcoming the odds. If there's anyone who can make this transition work, it's him. He will demand excellence from Rodgers, just as he has from every other player. And knowing Rodgers, he will respond to that challenge with the same fire that has defined his career. And let's talk about the receiving core. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. These are young, talented weapons that Rodgers will have at his disposal. He's never had a group quite like this in his career. The deep ball, the quick slants, the pinpoint accuracy, all of it will be on full display, and Detroit's offense could become one of the most lethal in the league. Then there's the defense. Aaron Glenn has built a unit that thrives on aggression and pressure. With quarterback like Rodgers on the other side of the ball, the defense can take even more risks, knowing that the offense will keep them in games. The synergy between both sides of the ball could be something truly special. And what about the psychological impact on opposing teams? Imagine stepping onto the field against the Lions, knowing that Rodgers is leading them. That alone will change the way teams approach games against Detroit. The aura, the mystique, it's all part of the equation now. This move isn't just about winning games. It's about changing the culture of the franchise. For too long, the Lions have been viewed as a team that couldn't get over the hump. Now, with a player of Rodgers' caliber, they demand respect. They are no longer a team that hopes to win. They expect to win. And now what's next? How will Goff react? How will the Lions locker room absorb this change? And most importantly, will Rodgers prove that he still has fuel left in the tank to lead a team to the title? The answers will come soon. But one thing is certain. The 2025 season will be unforgettable. It will be the season that forever changes the history of the Lions. And you will want to follow every detail. If you want to stay updated on this new era, subscribe to the Lions News Fan Report channel. Because this story is just beginning. And now you are part of it.